Hello everyone, welcome back to our Manchester United podcast, Never Ignored. On today's episode we're going to be covering our reaction to United versus Everton, the game against Brugge in the Europa League. We're going to talk about the speculation with Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish, and then reflect on the returning members to our squad, Paul Pogba, Pogba and Tuanzebe. We'll top it all off at the end with a bit of a preview of United versus Derby and Manchester City.
Yeah, so another action-packed podcast, and again we've played twice since the last one. So we're just saying to each other, we seem to be playing a lot of games at the moment. It's all coming very thick and fast.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the games are. We've got Europe, FA Cup, and then the league. But I guess not a bad position to be in. Still in all the competitions that we need to be in. So good stuff.
Yeah, we're in more competitions than Liverpool now.
Exactly. Yeah, Liverpool can focus on the league now. Yeah, they need to put their focus back on the league.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In the space of a few days, they've not lost their unbeaten run, and they've lost the chance at a treble as well.
So we get to maintain our record of being the only English team in the treble. Arsenal get to maintain their record of their invincible golden Premier League that they hold.
Even though we all know which achievement is we all know what's more of an achievement.
For sure. 3-1.
Yeah. So simple maths. But yeah, so United Everton. Actually, let's go United Brugge first. That was the first game, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a good game. 5-0. Was it 5-0? Yeah.
It was 5-0.
Bruno, McTominay, Fred twice, and I'm missing someone. Who have I missed?
You're missing the amazing Odion.
Igalo. Yeah, how can I forget Igalo's goal? Yeah, it was exactly what you'd want from a home performance in the Europa League, I guess, against a team like Brugge.
Yeah. The game started off completely, I'd say, quite one-way traffic. And then you get Dele, his name was, who decides that Mignolet isn't a great goalkeeper, and he decides to make the save on his behalf.
He decides, I have to do this myself, yeah. Even though probably Mignolet was making the exact same dive behind him.
It was just an insane moment. I'm not too sure what was going through his head, but yeah, he decides to fling himself at it, stick his hand out. Makes a great save, to be fair to him. And yeah, gets himself sent off.
Yeah, I've probably not seen anything like that really since Suarez in the World Cup back in, was it 2010, something like that?
I think there was wasn't it Oxlade-Chamberlain as well when he was at Arsenal and he ended up sending Kieran Gibbs off for it before the VAR
maybe,
days.
Yeah. But
I think against Chelsea he ended up sending off. Is it either the other way around, Ox or Gibbs?
Yeah, one of the two.
Because they looked similar, according to the referee.
But yeah, I'm not sure really what he was doing because United were on top anyway, but Brugge was still in the game. At that point, it's 0-0, 1-1 on aggregate. If they got an away goal, things could have got tricky.
I was thinking, being a Bruges fan, I'd be so devastated travelling that far, and then you've got a player who just gets himself sent off for no reason. It's not challenged yet to make in any way, shape, or form, and you've effectively thrown away the tie at that point.
And the thing that I found really bizarre though was what on earth VAR was looking at. They spent ages looking at VAR. The referee even had to go over and look at the screen.
It is a bit crazy because I'm assuming the debate they had was he going to save it, but you can't even guarantee that. Exactly.
You've seen even Adrian last night. So Liverpool Chelsea was last night. We're recording this on the Wednesday. Adrian Williams' goal was basically straight at him, and he's palmed it into the goal. So there's no way they could have figured out whether Mignolet was going to save the ball or not. And James did hit it pretty nicely as well. So
yeah, I agree. So at least I'm glad to say that the correct decision was.
Yeah, if they'd overturned that, it'd have been quite shocking.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bruno tucked away another penalty. That was back-to-back penalties, I think. So that's good.
Good to see you've got some consistency with our penalty takers.
Yeah, and then from then on, it was just complete one-way traffic. Like I said, we got Igalo's goal. So Mata got the assist, but again, it was Bruno's build-up. That's what. That's what got the goal. McTominay, there was a good finish as well. His goal,
fantastic finish. The way he hit that, used like the inside of his foot, and he kind of the way the trajectory was as if he'd use the outside of his foot. It was great technique.
And I think we were saying as well, he looks like he's packed on a bit of muscle as well. He looks more like a.
Scott has been in the gym, definitely.
He looks more like what you'd want out of a sort of defensive midfielder kind of. Position.
He just looks a bit like a superhero, doesn't he? He's got the Captain America look to him.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it. So that was half time. Yeah, 3-0 up. Can't complain. And then if you'd have asked for 2 goal scorers in the second half, or Fred scoring both, I think most United fans would be pretty happy with that at the moment.
And it gets even better if you'd ask who the 2 assists would be by.
Yeah, who was it? It was Chong got one of them.
And Jesse Lingard.
Yeah, so 2 players who needed something.
Yeah.
Chong's still not sure what's happening with him, but he's been getting more minutes recently, so you never know. But yeah, Fred, he's deserved some goals for his overall play's been pretty good, minus the finishing.
I've been critical of his finishing recently. I've said that's probably the only thing, one of the things he could improve on. And it was 2 great finishes, to be fair to him. So great stuff. Keep it up.
Yeah, not much more to it than that. Maybe we could have had a few more goals, but I'm not going to complain about 5-0 win.
Yeah, and I think in the end, probably Mignolet was their best player. He made quite a few
he's made some good saves, actually. I know he made one from Igalo and I think a few from Bruno as well.
Yeah, and so that takes us to the next round of the Europa League.
Yeah, playing LASK. Is that LASK. Or are they LASK, or does that stand for something?
It stands for Linzer Athletic Sport Club.
Okay. Oh yeah. I knew that. They're massive team, right?
Yeah, massive team. Everyone knows it.
I mean, I think that seems like a pretty decent draw.
Yeah, I'm not even too sure where they sit in the Austrian league.
I didn't know they were from Austria even. So
yeah. I took it one step further there. Yeah. I knew. I hope that's correct. Otherwise, I'm just sound like.
I think Austria sounds about right.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, it has to be a pass to the next round.
Yeah. So it's good. Arsenal have been knocked out as well, so that's always nice. Yeah. I'm actually, out of all the teams left in there, I'm probably most scared of Wolves.
I just couldn't sit through another
two games against Wolves. It's just too much.
Would that be a record for how many times we've played one team in the season?
There, right? We played them in the FA Cup this year as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the only tournament we haven't played them in is the Carabao Cup. Or have we played them in the Carabao Cup as well?
It's all a blur at the moment because I think we played them at some point either last season.
Last season we lost to them in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And then this season we beat them in the FA Cup. And we've already played them twice in the league.
It's because we played them twice in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
It was a replay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There was a replay this year as well, wasn't it? That's why I was thinking that maybe we played them in the Carabao as well.
I can't sit through it again.
Yeah. 2 more. I think if we do draw each other eventually at some point, they should just solve it by a coin toss or something.
Just call the game off.
Just get together, do one coin toss at Old Trafford, 1 coin toss at Molineux. Away goals count double.
Yeah.
And just call it a day. But yeah, that was a good start to the weekend, I guess. We put Thursday night almost the weekend.
Yeah.
And then we had our Sunday game. Was it Sunday we played?
Yeah, Sunday.
So that was Everton away. So we did say before that it was looking like it was going to be a reasonably tricky game, but we were confident with the form we'd gone into, but didn't get off to the best start.
Yeah, so prior to the game, we know about their record. Ancelotti hasn't lost at home this season with Everton. Everton have won their last 4 in 7 games against United at home, so they've got good form at home, Everton, against us. It looked like it was going to be tricky, and immediately 3 minutes into it or 2 minutes into it even,
I hadn't even turned the TV on at that point. I was still finding my way to the sofa.
I was there still, gleaming from the glow of the win against Brugge and Watford, and I was like, yeah, come on, let's go. And then Dave just makes a mistake. He just dwindles for too long on the ball. I think it was 6 seconds he had on the ball. So it's a bit of a shame that he didn't just get rid of it quicker than that before he was closed down by Calvert-Lewin. And Calvert-Lewin, fair play to him, is good work rate. And it's been such a long time. When I watch football, you always see the striker close down the goalkeeper, and you're always like, oh, he almost got. No, he hasn't got it. It never happens. And then the one time it happens in
against
a game
us,
against Manchester United.
I mean, we've already had the conversation. Was it 2 weeks ago about De Gea or Henderson next year?
Yeah.
And it's only going one way at the moment.
It is.
De Gea his form has improved a bit, but it just seems like now I don't know. It just seems like his head's not there anymore. So he'll still pull off the world class saves, but
and to give credit to him, he did literally 2 minutes later pull off a great save.
And the last kick of the game almost as well was a good save.
It's a funny one because I think everyone was saying that Henderson looks like he's just got himself the number 1 for England and Manchester United off the back of this game.
I did think Bruno equalised. No surprise with the goal. No surprise it's Bruno that scored.
It was a great shot.
Yeah, I think they were a little bit harsh on Pickford. I guess you'd always be disappointed being beaten at your near post, I guess.
Yeah.
But Bruno, he took it early. He took it well.
Took it early. I think it's bounced just before it's gone over. Arrived at the keeper. Had good movement on it. I think they were a tad harsh. Don't get me wrong.
But I suppose it's Pickford, right? So it comes with the reputation, comes with the area.
Yeah. And
he's been making mistakes constantly. So things that are 50-50, the narrative is that he's making mistakes. So if it's a 50-50 thing at the moment, the media at least are going to lean towards, and the meme pages, they're going to lean towards mistake. It's a mistake for Pickford.
Well, he definitely isn't a fan of Roy Keane.
Yeah,
he's not his biggest fan. But yeah, it was interesting to see that Pickford and De Gea have both got the most errors leading to a goal this year in the league, 7. I think they're on level with Leno.
Since the start of last season.
Yeah, I think they're on level with Leno and Dubravka from Newcastle. But yeah, it was a strange first half. It was a tale of two goalkeeping errors, I'd say. Yeah.
But yeah, the rest of the half we dominated.
We did really well.
Even after they scored, Matic hit the bar and he had another good shot later on before Bruno scored.
I was impressed with the recovery from the early goal. We were on the front foot completely.
Yeah, but I wonder if that just took too much out of us, because the second half we were pretty dire.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm wondering if they're playing Thursday and then that first half performance, I think it seemed to take a bit too much out of the team.
Yeah, so the second half, if me and Imti were just saying the first half we were on the front foot, we were on the back foot completely. That second half, it was wave after wave from Everton, and I don't think I've ever seen so many corners.
Yeah, Maguire just he really stood up to it there.
Yeah, Maguire, credit to him, he stood really strong in
I think he must have headed it out like about 150 times.
But I was convinced, I was like, one of these is going to go in.
Yeah, it just seemed inevitable. But Maguire was just getting on the end of everything, so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah,
and we almost had a chance to win it at the end. I was almost celebrating when it fell to Ighalo after Fernandez's shot.
It was the perfect scenario. So Fernandes, to be fair, I think he has missed it a tiny bit, and Pickford made a decent. It was
on the
save.
volley. It was he had to stretch to get to it.
But then when it drops to Ighalo, I'm like, okay, great stuff. This is going in. But Pickford,
even when he hit it, I thought this is still going in. There's no way that anyone's getting on the end of this. But
he's done his job. Pickford, he's made himself big. He's ran across. He's closed down the shot as quick as he can, and credit to him. He made a good save.
Yeah, no, it was he saved them the game, I guess. And then they've gone up the other end. De Gea makes a very good save.
It was a terrific save, wasn't it?
I thought that was in as well. When I saw Sigurdsson about to get at the end of it, I thought that's that.
Sigurdsson's got an incredible record against us.
United, he's just always. I remember even from his Swansea days.
So he's got 9 goal involvements against us in the last 9 games. 5 goals, 4 assists. He just always has done something.
Yeah, he hit the bar with the free kick as well. I think, didn't he? So yeah, he's always a threat. And then there was the disallowed goal.
It's an interesting one on social media. That.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Sigurdsson was in an offside position, and he moved his legs out of the way for the ball to go in.
Doesn't matter, does it?
That for me, that's interference. Yeah. If he stood still, the ball would have hit him. So he's had to interfere with play to get out of the way.
It's a funny one, and it's just a classic case of, I think people just either don't know the rules well enough or don't want to.
That's what Ollie said as well. He said he held his hands up and said he's not 100% sure. So he has to. He said he's trusted that the officials do know the rules.
So with the whole situation, people were arguing, De Gea, he's not in his eye line. De Gea can see over him. Blah blah. It doesn't matter. He's still in the way. He's still interfering. He's still going to cause De Gea.
And he was in the direct line of the ball.
and then the other argument is, he wasn't going to save it anyway because he'd already committed to his right and the ball ended up going bottom left.
Sigurdsson sat there in an offside position. He's going to hit him, but then he moved.
100%. The fact that player's position has caused any doubt and has obviously altered what the keeper wants to do is interference. Simple. And that's like saying, you can leave a man up front, and as long as he just dummies everything that goes through him.
Exactly. As long as he doesn't actually, as long as he's not blocking anyone's view or he doesn't hit him, then
So I think the correct decision did come in the end. And I'm not just saying that because I want Manchester United to not lose the game. Credit to the officials, they got it right. The guy, he's interfered with play. Simple.
Yeah. So that's that really. I think based on the first half, disappointed with the point. Second half, happy with the point almost. Other than missing the chance at the end, it sort of made it hurt a bit more.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you on that. Based on the first half, I would definitely had wanted 3 points at half time. But then at the end of that second half,
the good thing is Spurs lost, Chelsea drew. So Wolves obviously won because they played Spurs, so they've gone level with us. But we've not been punished too much by dropping points. But I did have an interesting stat that I want to pull up. It's about how many times when Chelsea have dropped points, how we follow it up. And it's basically like there's been 9 times Chelsea have dropped points.
What they do, always.
And so you look at this is the game week. So game week 13. Chelsea lost, United drew. Game week 14, Chelsea lost, United drew. Game week 17, Chelsea lost, United drew. 21, Chelsea drew, United lost. 23, losses for both. 24, Chelsea drew, United lose. 25, Chelsea draw, United draw. 28, Chelsea draw, United draw.
It's absolutely insane.
So that's 9 times we've had the opportunity to close the gap on them.
It's a bit ridiculous. It is in our own hands. So if we don't get those positions, we don't qualify for the Euro.
If we don't get 4th or anything like that, or 5th or whatever.
It was within our own hands at most of
we've had the opportunities.
Season.
And I would bet you a lot of those games, they're against teams we'd have expected to beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, what can you do? We still got the Europa League. We're still in 5th. We're still technically in that Champions League place almost.
Yeah.
Although I think Sheffield have got a game in hand, so they'll be looking to poach that.
But it looks like we're gonna have a very interesting run into the end of the season. We know Liverpool have pretty much got the title, coronavirus permitting. But yeah, at least it's going to be very interesting who gets that 3rd and 4th spot.
I mean,
unless they're dropping
Liverpool
points
have lost their last 2 games in a row in all competitions.
Yeah.
They've conceded 5 goals in that time and scored none. So if you ask me, I think City are favourites at the moment.
All we need to do is let steamroll us on the weekend.
That might be wishful thinking, but I think if you expand Liverpool's current trajectory, they're going to lose 9 games in a row, not score a goal in that time. And they're going to do irreparable damage to my fantasy football team.
Yeah, because considering... This is something else I actually want to mention. So, considering Liverpool been getting a lot of plaudits for their defensive performances over the season, which, to be fair, it's been good. Last 3 games, I think they've conceded 7.
Yep.
So
they've conceded a lot more than us.
And we've conceded, I think, 2. Yeah. And if you consider the 2 goals we've conceded... both of them were, to be honest, very big individual mistakes from our goalkeepers.
Yeah, Romero and Diego.
But I take that as a positive. Well, I see the positive side of it in the fact that at least our defence isn't being broken down and then strikers are finishing against us. It's just one random long ball defeated us the first time, and the second time the keeper just took too long.
Lapse of concentration, That's another interesting stat, which was everyone's blaming Lovren for Liverpool's defeats. So he's played in 1 of their 3 defeats, and Van Dijk's played in all of them. So, clear again. Van Dijk is useless.
The game against Watford, to be fair, Lovren was terrible. But both of them, it doesn't reflect well on either of them.
We've actually been saying for a while, this is going to sound like sour grapes, that Liverpool haven't actually been playing that well. And if you look at the first game they played against Watford should have beaten them. The difference was Sarr missed sitters in that game.
Yeah.
But in this game, he actually scored some good goals. So it was sort of the first time someone's actually taken their opportunity against them.
It was awesome. They were good finishes as well. And he looked so gutted when he got subbed off and he didn't get the hat-trick. He looked so gutted on the bench. So good ambition from him. Fair play.
But enough about Liverpool.
The best Senegalese winger on the pitch.
Enough about Liverpool. So what have we got? We got some transfer speculation you said you wanted to mention.
Yeah, so as of recent... 2 names keep popping up for our big transfer targets for summer: Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish. So I just wanted to have a little discussion about what we think on a potential move for Jadon Sancho.
I'll take him. We've been saying for a while, we need a proper winger. So Sancho fits that bill. Someone who actually wants to play on the wing. Mm-hmm. Probably both sides. And he scores goals and creates as well. Which again, Bruno's filled a bit of that void, but he can't do it all.
Yeah, he can't do it on his own. Yep.
I can see if we had an attack of Rashford on one wing, Sancho on the other, and then probably still I'd say a new number 9. I'd be pretty happy with that. The
new number 9 being Igalo changing his squad number.
Clearly, when I said number 9, I meant more just the position. Igalo's been positive so far. Not sure if he's the long-term solution, but.
So, Sancho, he's had a fantastic season over in Germany. He's got 22 appearances this year in the league, 14 goals, which is a pretty solid turnaround for a winger.
I think he's got 14 assists as well in that time. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think
it's incredibly impressive, I think he would probably fit the bill. He's got some experience of...
Plus, he's from City's academy, right? So that's nice to sort of...
Yeah.
If he comes to rub that in their faces.
Yeah,
I guess, but.
He's clearly got ambition because he was probably the first prolific
he's a
player
trendsetter, right?
Yeah, he was the first prolific player that said, all right, I'm going elsewhere to get my first team minutes rather than...
Well, you look at the comparison between him and Foden, I think they're the same age. And Foden's barely played any... I know he played the full 90 in the Cup the other day.
Yep.
And he did look decent, to be fair to him.
Yeah, I think
but when you look at... so Foden's played 31 games in his career in the league, 60 overall. And you've got to wonder how many of those are
substitute appearances. I imagine a strong portion of them.
Whereas Sancho he is the same age and he has played 71 games. Yep. And I'd imagine the majority of them are starts.
Yep.
Sorry, he's played 91 games. So he's played almost a season's worth more of football.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to imagine the majority of those are starts. and he's in the national team. He's starting for them.
Yep.
He's made 11 England caps.
Yeah.
So that's almost as many games as Foden gets in 1 year. He's played that for England.
So the rumoured transfer fee for him would be that we'd be breaking the British transfer fee and going in about 105 million.
I mean, he's going to go up and up the more he does well this season. It's just going to go up and up, right?
Yeah, he fits all those little taxes that you get an increase on. That he's young, he's a British player.
So I wonder, does the British sort of cancel out because he's playing abroad? I don't know. If maybe it's...
I wonder if it increases it, because maybe is the argument that it's more difficult abroad, especially because it's unheard of.
I guess I think it increases his personal value.
Yeah.
But I wonder whether the English tax kind of goes away a bit.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know. But, and then it's reported that we'll be offering him about over the 200 grand a week, which seems to fit our kind of wage.
I mean, personally, I've always said I don't really care what we pay our players or how much we pay for them. As long as it's not changing the price that fans pay to watch the game, it doesn't really bother me. I guess most of the money comes from TV deals and that kind of stuff, and TV, while it's not getting cheaper, I don't think it's got really drastically more expensive recently. So
Jadon Sancho, I'd take him at United all day. He's a Chelsea fan, self-proclaimed Chelsea fan from his youth.
I suppose he fits that bill. He was born in the year 2000, which is ridiculously young.
Yeah.
So when he was growing up, Chelsea were very competitive.
Yeah.
And I think he's from that area as well.
Yeah, he's from I think southwest London.
Yeah, so that helps. But I wouldn't say no to him. I'm starting to think it's not going to happen though.
Yeah, I think it's one of those transfers that might be too good to be true if we were to secure it.
I think firstly we definitely have to get Champions League.
Yep.
I don't see him coming if we're in the Europa League, because he's proven himself already.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, I just don't think it's going to happen. I still, at the moment, can't see why he'd want to leave Dortmund. I know there have been things to that account.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it yet. I just don't think he's so young still.
So, there's mixed reports coming. So, the Dortmund owner came out recently and said he's very happy at Dortmund and he wants to stay. But then all the other reports contradict that. So I think personally he probably does want to come back to the Premier League. I'm not too sure if Manchester United's team he wants to come to. It doesn't sound like he wants to go back to City. Clearly sounds like he's probably sour about his experience there, expectedly. I think maybe Chelsea and Liverpool are the other two teams that he could possibly want to move to.
Maybe. I don't see Liverpool spending that kind of money this season though. If they win the league like everyone expects them to now, it wouldn't really make much sense for them to spend 100.
And also, I don't think it's a position they need to bolster either. Probably they've got other positions that need to be focused on.
Yeah.
But more about Chelsea. Chelsea could do the right winger because right now
they've just signed what's his name, Hakeem Ziyech
from
Ajax.
He's
a pretty good signing. And they've got Pulisic. Last year they spent money on him, so I don't know if they'll spend again because you can't. I can't imagine all three of them playing together.
Very true.
Unless Ziyech plays like more of like a number 10 kind of role.
Yeah, I think of recent he's been playing more of a number 10 for
you'd
Ajax.
imagine that would be their sort of. They'll probably play like sort of a front three Abraham, or a replacement for Abraham, because they still seem to be keen to get a striker, right? So maybe another striker, Ziyech, and I don't know if Pulisic has done enough to start yet, but I know he's injured at the moment.
Yeah,
but I guess he's definitely in their plans. City have got all their financial fair play issues as well to wonder about, even regardless of whether he wants to come back or not.
They don't want to cause any
It's probably not the best time for them to be spending 100 million plus on. Plus, it's not what they it's not really how they've gone about it. They spent a lot of money, but they haven't really spent huge amounts on particular players since the early days. I mean, when they signed Robinho, that was a massive fee.
Yeah.
But I think their club record is Laporte, which was just under 60, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which now I'm saying it sounds, that's how ridiculous it sounds. I'm saying that's not a massive amount. But compared to modern day standards.
Yeah.
So while they probably have a lot of 45, 50 million pound players compared to other clubs, they don't necessarily spend the massive.
It's positive because you can see obviously United as well. Recently, they've been trying to be a bit more firm with their transfer fees on the players that they want. But I think it's good in whole if if league-wise that happens, so City obviously do it as well. They say we're not rolling over just because you want more from us because we're Manchester City. And yeah, it looks like Liverpool aren't paying stupid extortionate fees. If I think in whole, if the league just does it, then people will stop trying to get as much as they can out of Premier League teams because they know they're paid well by the TV rights, which would be a good thing overall anyway. And then our next transfer target, we've been linked a lot with this guy, Jack Grealish.
Yeah, I want Grealish. Pay whatever.
Yeah,
45 million, 450 million, whatever it takes.
I'm a massive fan of him. So I've got a couple of friends that are Villa fans. And
I think you went to see Villa recently as well.
Yeah, recently I went to watch Villa Spurs, and honestly, the rest of the team, they're probably Championship standard, but he stands out so highly. Without them, I know they're in the relegation zone at the moment anyway.
But they'd be long gone.
Yeah, they'd be confirmed. They'd probably be below Norwich.
I reckon he's again an example. So Sancho, he went abroad. Grealish, he stuck with his team even though they got relegated. And
there was a lot of speculation with him leaving various windows to Tottenham.
Yeah, so if he'd gone Spurs, he might not necessarily have played as much, and he might be at this 25 years old he is now. But he might not be wanted by teams like in the top four, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's had a phenomenal season considering the position of the club that he's playing for. He's still got 7 goals, 6 assists.
Yeah, I mean, when Villa were last in the Premier League, I didn't think there was much to get excited about him, but he was very young.
Yeah,
but this year, he's come back. He's their captain, and he's properly stepped up.
Yeah,
I think he's a goal scorer. He creates.
I think weirdly the Championship's benefited him as well because he's toughened up.
I agree. I think he definitely made the right choice staying at Villa.
Yeah, because I think one of his big criticisms when he was first at Villa in the Premier League was that he's too weak.
Yep,
he's definitely toughened up. You can tell he goes into tackles more, and
he's matured a lot as well.
Yeah, and I like his just ability. He's got positive play. He takes the ball forward. He takes a man on the wing. He operates on the wing, cuts in. I'd love to see him at Manchester United, and he's also a future English talent. I know earlier on we were linked with James Maddison, and it was kind of...
for me, Grealish, I definitely prefer Grealish.
Yeah, I think Grealish trumps Maddison.
I do think Maddison's a good talent, but I don't think he's all he's cracked up to be.
I don't think he's as versatile as Grealish.
Yeah,
as well.
I think Grealish would do more of a job for United, especially if Pogba leaves. I could see Grealish being a better replacement than Maddison.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine Maddison wanting to play a bit more forward.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Grealish, you can see him doing the hard yards in the midfield as well, even though that might not be his natural position.
And he recently said in an interview as well his favourite stadium to play at is Old Trafford.
Did he?
Yeah, so you know what that means. It only means one thing, doesn't it, Jack? Over you come.
Yeah, he's got to come soon.
Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. There's 2 young English players. It looks like they fit in with our strategy going forward with transfers and getting a young, hungry talent. So yeah, if we could get both of those, then that would be absolutely terrific. But what are the chances?
Yeah, well, you got to hope with this transfer strategy so far. It's like you said, it's the young English players. I heard United do like to start securing their transfers in February, so February's gone. Obviously, it wouldn't be announced then, but that's like when they start their bidding for the next year.
Okay.
So hopefully these things are already underway.
Yeah,
which is probably why the rumours are increasing now.
Definitely, there's got to be a journal or two that's got some inside info. So with the rumours, so if Pogba was to be sold, we definitely have the finances. Speaking of Paul Pogba, he's back. It looks like he's gonna be back in training next week.
Yeah, heard that before. I don't know. At this point, I mean, I loved Pogba, but I don't know. At this point, it's like if he comes back or not. Yeah. It's pretty clear that he wants to go. It's pretty clear he probably will go. Unless he suddenly comes back and... I read one article saying he really wants to play with Bruno, that kind of stuff. But
yeah, I've read that as well.
I don't know. Does he really? We'll have to wait and see. I'd love it if he comes back and we don't have to sell him and he just signs a new contract or whatever and stays for the next 5 years. But I think,
it's nice to see. Well, there was that video that was doing the rounds on Twitter of him and Bailly and Igalo having a laugh together, and little things like that. People say, people say he's toxic for the changing room, but then
he's clearly not. I think we do know a lot of it comes from his agent, but even like his brother's been saying a lot in the media as well, and it's like he's got a big following on social media and stuff. He could easily come out and he posts stuff wearing United kit and that, but he can say something. He can say, I want to be here.
Yeah, that would be terrific. But I'm not too sure what his strategy is with his
but I think
agent.
it's changed a bit since January. In January we were dying to get him back.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Bruno playing as well as he is, maybe Pogba's attitude is going to change, because at the moment he's not top dog.
Yeah, it could literally be that. Yeah, and maybe he's also realised that, because from what I see anyway, the mood on him has changed, and the fans have kind of said, okay, if you really want to go,
it's gone to the point of I was like that way. I was thinking, we can't lose this guy. Who are we going to get to replace him? Yeah. Now I'm like, does he even get in the team at the moment?
Yeah. So the conversation's changed.
Yeah. So maybe that'll change something in him. So I can kind of understand where he was coming from. When he signed, we also signed Ibrahimovic, Mkhitaryan. I think that was when Bailly joined as well.
Yeah.
Then after that, we signed Lukaku. I can't remember who else we signed, but
Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, Sanchez. But even though Sanchez didn't work out, you can see those were the kind of talents that the team was being built around. And since then, Sanchez is gone, Lukaku's gone, Ibrahimovic is gone.
Mickey's gone.
Mkhitaryan's gone. Who else? Anyone that you could consider top tier talent?
Yeah,
pretty much has gone. Other than the youngsters, like Rashford, etc. And the players we brought in since then, lesser reputation. Their reputation is not as good.
Mm-hmm.
They've worked out well. James, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, etc. Bruno.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Bruno's changed his thoughts a bit, because before that you could kind of think that he's thinking the club's going downhill and he wants to be playing with the best players in the world, which we're not at that stage yet. With Bruno, maybe he's thinking, okay, the club's changing a bit again. They're finding the right players that he can play with, but we'll have to see, I guess.
Maybe Bruno could literally, as well as on the pitch, he's completely performing for us. Off the pitch, the motivation, we hear countless of the players in interviews saying that he's a really good leader already. He's come in and
I think
he's taking charge.
We mentioned it before, but him speaking English is just massive.
And it's awesome. I think it can do wonders in the changing room, in the dressing room, and it can really bring the team together. It looks already like that's working. And if it can grow stronger, that cohesion within the team, then it'll only lead to an increase in performance and better results, etc. So as well as Pogba coming back,
so we've got a few more people returning.
We've got Tuanzebe and Fosu Mensah. So Fosu Mensah, he's been out for a very long time. He's been out since last.
I kind of feel like, although he's not really had a chance at United, I kind of feel like it's over for him.
I think it's kind of so. He came on the scene around the Van Gaal era. When there was a couple of youngsters that were coming up at the time, and then he's had a couple of loans, Crystal Palace and Fulham, and he's done fairly well on those loans.
I just think nowadays when he's 22 now.
Yeah.
If at 22 you haven't had an established run in the first team,
here's a question for you: what's his firm position?
So according to Football Manager, he's a right back. But I don't know.
Yeah, so he's played. I think right.
He's done pretty well at holding midfield sometimes.
Back, defensive midfield. He's played across the back line and in the midfield. So he could just be the Dutch John O'Shea. Yeah,
I mean, there's no harm in having a versatile player around. But we need to see something from him. We need to see a season where he plays 20, 30 games. Maybe next season could be his chance. I don't know what his contract. But even cup games, some substitute appearances.
Yeah.
Because like you said, he's versatile. So if he can be the player who, like you said, like John O'Shea, if you need a position around the defensive line,
not make Luis Figo.
Yeah. That I still always remember that goal he scored at Arsenal as well.
And against Liverpool.
But then there's still. I'm just looking at his Wikipedia page. He plays as a defensive midfielder, centre back, or full back. That's too many positions at 22.
Yeah, I think at that point in your career, if you haven't firmed a position, or at least maximum two positions, I'd say that it's a bit of a difficult one to see where your future is.
Yeah, and I always think about United players that go on loan. It never really seems to work out for them at United. So we got Beckham went on loan back in the day. Mm-hmm. He obviously worked out, but he did leave eventually.
Yeah.
Welbeck went on loan, didn't really work out. Lingard went on loan, not really working out.
Yeah.
The players from the academy that stick, Rashford, he didn't go out. They're the players who they actually they were good enough straight away.
I think they're the players that have such good quality that you wouldn't want them to go out on loan.
Like
Greenwood as well.
Greenwood, he's never going on loan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the players that do tend to go out on loan. It's not a rule set. Even McTominay, I don't know if McTominay go out on loan anywhere. These kind of players, they just came into the team. Yeah, so McTominay's been at United his whole career.
So you're trying to say James Wilson is
James Wilson's the example. We went on loan everywhere under the sun, right?
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, not all, yeah.
So when you get to that 22, 23 age, if you haven't really had that long at United, like a full season at least, I can't think of many other than Lingard who are still around that have been on loan.
In the current squad or in
just in general in the last Welbeck was one of the longest that last, and then he's gone. Everyone else who's a promising talent but goes on loan doesn't seem to work out. That's just something I've thought of. I don't know. Maybe we have to do some more research
because immediately one man attacks my brain and his name's Andreas Pereira.
Yeah, so he's been out on loan everywhere, right? And it's just not working out.
So maybe it's a question of does the loan actually benefit the players?
Yeah, I just think at United, they've always been a club that if you're actually good enough, you will get in the squad. Yeah, I think regardless of your age.
I think the club that you get loaned to is vital to the success, and maybe those clubs.
Tuanzebe's been on loan, and he's probably one that we hope was going to work out.
Yeah. So it
can work, but I'm just saying I've not seen someone at United other than we call Beckham the exception.
Yeah.
Maybe they always say it's the exception that proves the rule. Yeah. So maybe Beckham's that exception that went out on loan when he's a youngster. And it actually paid off. Because everyone else, they always just tend to just stick around. They're just getting the team if they're good enough.
It's true. I think, and that's one of the benefits of being at Manchester United is that the academy is.
You look at like Rashford, for example. He wasn't going to have a shoe in, but then Rooney was injured, Martial was injured. Mm-hmm. He had to play, and he was good enough to play, and it worked out for him. Had he been on loan somewhere, he might not have got that opportunity.
Yeah, that's true. So. Speaking of Tuanzebe, you just mentioned him. He had a successful loan at Villa. He's back from injury as well now.
Yeah, so I think he's a good option going forward. That I think we said before that second centre back position is available. Yeah. Whether it'd be good to see whether he can be that guy.
Yeah.
I've only seen positive things so far.
He recently came out and said in an interview that his long-term goal is to captain Manchester United. So it's good to see he's got some determination.
I think I read somewhere the other day he's become like an unofficial counsellor for the youth team players as well.
Oh, that's
so awesome. He clearly cares about the club and he's willing to.
He got to wear the armband against, was it Rochdale?
Yeah, it was Rochdale in the cup. He captained them
because that's where he's from originally, and it's quite a nice touch from Ole to give him the captain's armband against his hometown club. So fair play to him.
But yeah, he's definitely got potential. But I guess the thing with him at the moment is just going to see can he stay fit, and can he get a run in the team? Because the competition's fierce for that place. Lindelof's had an okay season. Bailly's been good when he's played. So there's people challenging for that position. So if he gets an opportunity, he's got to push and take it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you'd imagine that maybe that's still a position United are looking to strengthen. So if he can have a strong end to the season, maybe he can change their transfer plans. But yeah, I think that's all for injuries. But I don't think we've got anyone else.
Yeah, so it looks like the squad's getting.
We don't have many other injuries at the moment. I don't think.
Just Mr. Marcus.
Rashford. How can I forget about Rashford?
But yeah,
I heard positive things. But nothing concrete. But they're saying he might play before the end of the season.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. It's a big shame because he scored 13 goals. He probably could have potentially got the Golden Boot. Good chance for him. Premier League boot.
From a selfish point, I kind of don't want him to come back this season because I think if he does, he'll play in the Euros, and he might need that rest. And like we've said it before about Rashford, Maguire's got that kind of thing at the moment. He plays too many games.
He does play. I think he's played every game. More or less.
So it would be, from a purely selfish point of view. Obviously, I want England to do well as well, but from a purely selfish United fan point of view, wouldn't mind if he sat out the rest of the season. Obviously, I'd love to have him in the team, and I want to get Champions League football, but maybe he needs the rest. If he's looking touch and go to the end of the season, I would rather he sat out, just to get that rest because he might never have a long term rest again in his career. So I think that was one of the issues with Sanchez because the Copa America was such a regular.
He was never getting the rest.
Regular thing between Copa America and World Cups. He was almost never getting any rest.
And you don't want to have the whole Wayne Rooney situation again, where everyone says he never had any rest. He never really had a rest.
Yeah, Rooney had the same thing.
Yeah,
his probably only rest was when he was suspended.
Exactly. Speaking of Wayne we are approximately about 24 hours away from the return
Yes.
of Wayne Rooney.
Well, we're away, right?
Yeah, so it's essentially not a return to Old Trafford, but a return against Manchester United.
I feel like this return is being more hyped than when, because he played us twice when he was at Everton.
Yep.
But I feel like no one really cared then, which is a bit of a shame. But I think now that we've had a bit more time for the dust to settle, and people are starting to remember how great he actually was.
And Wayne Rooney's grown a beard.
Yeah. So they're saying online he looks like, I don't know if you remember, there was this advert in like 2006 or something, or 2012,
when he comes out of the caravan.
when it's like England have failed at another World Cup and he grows a beard and stuff, and people are saying he now looks like the real life version of that. But it seems like everyone's much more up for this.
It's almost as if they need a reason to sell tickets for Manchester United versus Derby. But it's Manchester United versus Wayne Rooney's Derby. Derby have evolved from Frank Lampard's Derby to Wayne Rooney's Derby. Maybe next year at some point with John Terry's Derby, who knows. I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm going to be very happy to watch him again for another 90 minutes. It's been a while.
I hope it's like, remember when Van Persie played against us in was it Champions League or Europa League?
Yeah.
We were 4-0 up and then he scored.
Yeah.
So that, and then everyone celebrated. So that'd be nice if we're 4-0 up and he scores.
4-0 up, let Wayne score, let him score Panenka penalty again.
Yeah. Well, I'd love it if he scored like 4 own goals, like some like 60-yard screamers and just all own goals though. Because Ollie said that any goals he scores against us will be chalked off his tally. Yeah. So either any own goals he scored should be added to his tally.
So he should elongate his record and score 10 goals, and then he's got 260.
I think everyone would be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see him playing again. I know he'll get a class reception because he's just loved. And you're right. I think as time has gone on since he's left us.
I think the first return was too soon.
Yeah, I think the realization's grown stronger.
Now people are starting to realise how good he was.
Yeah. What do you think in terms of score for that game?
It depends on, I guess, if it's going to say it so early in his career. It depends if Bruno plays or not. If he doesn't play, I still expect us to win.
Yeah.
Like